Hey everyone, this is Alex and this is Abdul and we're with Wilson Amplifiers. And today we're going to be talking about the varieties of antennas for a cellular signal booster system. So we've got two major types of antennas. There's the outdoor antenna and then there's the indoor antenna. And we've got all of our varieties here laid out. So where do we want to start?
Let's go ahead and start off with the outdoor antennas.
Okay.
This particular version is considered Wilson's directional antenna.
Yeah.
This one's pretty standard on most of all kits. So it's a 10.6 dB gain max. This antenna is specifically for users that know where their specific towers are located at. This does have a beam width of 45 degrees, so I would say, when pointing this, you have about 45 degrees of beam width range that you can go left or right with. It does come with a metal hinge that you could attach to a conduit or a pole. I would say 2-inch pole would be the max that you could use on these U-bolt clamps. Pretty basic.
Yeah, so that antenna comes with almost every kit we sell.
Right.
It's our standard flag bearer.
One of our most popular ones.
Yeah, definitely.
The second version, this one also does come in a lot of kits as well, depending on which version you want to go with. This is considered the omnidirectional antenna. This antenna does pick up signal. Instead of 45 degrees, it's 360 degrees.
So it's a little bit easier to install.
Easier to use. The only downfall is that you're going to get less of a gain, 5.1 dBs of gain. I would say the best application for this is, let's say, for example, you live in a valley area where you're located down below and you've got towers up top. This is probably the best candidate that you would use for this type of antenna. Another application would be if you've got towers surrounded all around you and you don't want to run multiple antennas, directional antennas, and you've got a decent signal coming in, this would be a good candidate.
Cool. And then we've also got this large guy here.
Oh yeah.
This one is the LPDA antenna. And yeah, what do we know about it?
So this is Wilson's flagship cream of the crop directional antenna. Basically same concept as this one. Obviously it's a lot larger. You've got about 13.1 dB of gain on this specific model. The other thing that you have to be considerate of is this one does have a more directional, it's a more narrow beam width. So instead of like the traditional 45 degree, this one's gonna be about 30 degrees. So I would say this is for the user that really knows where those towers are located at, and this is like a fine-tuned type of antenna. So
and it'd also probably work better in a rural area or farther away.
It would. I mean, you're definitely reaching out further. You've got a higher gain. So for example, if you've got a longer donor antenna, this is a good candidate for that.
Yeah. So if you have real trouble like getting any usable signal, this might be an option.
Right.
So those are our outdoor antennas. Let's talk about the indoor antenna. So this is the dome antenna.
Right.
So what do we know?
So this one is your traditional ceiling mount antenna. This antenna is also considered omnidirectional, 360 degrees. It would typically mount like this on a ceiling. You're looking at about 5.1 dBs of gain on this specific model. Again, really good for commercial office spaces. You could also use them for a home. Just make sure you know where you're drilling at when you're punching it above the ceiling grid. But it's a good candidate as well.
So yeah, if you ever walk in through an office and you see one of these hanging from the ceiling, you know, hey, they've got a signal booster. What about this? This one looks a little interesting.
This one is the same concept as the dome, same installation process, but as you can see, there's a big aesthetic difference. So this would be used for mainly, I would say, commercial applications or high residential homes. It's less intrusive when mounting this thing. A lot of people mistaken this for like a Wi-Fi antenna. It doesn't look bad at all. It's a really, really nice antenna. I think this one does offer a little bit of gain. I think it's a 7 dB gain on this one max.
So a little bit stronger.
More stronger, aesthetically better looking.
Yeah, so it's called the low profile dome antenna. So yeah, that's why, because it's hard to see. You won't notice it. And then finally, this is the last one. I'm not gonna pick this up because it's on a stand and it'll fall over. So, but this is the panel antenna. What do we know?
So that antenna has been around for a very long time. It's considered Wilson's wall panel antenna. This antenna does provide the maximum gain out of all these three here. these 3 internal antennas. It's about a 10.6 dB gain. The only difference is that instead of mounting it on a ceiling, most people use this as mounting it on a side vertical wall.
Yeah.
And the beam width is a lot more narrow on this particular model. It's about 360 degrees for this one, 360 degrees for the low profile, and you're looking at about 60 to 70 degrees on that panel antenna.
So it's pointed in a direction, so as long as you're in front of it, it'll work. But if you're like off to its side, it might not give you the signal there.
Yep.
Right?
I would say the best application for that is long hallway corridor spaces. Great candidate.
Yeah.
I tell everybody the best mounting location for this particular antenna is eye level. Since everybody's using their iPhones at basically almost eye level, I would say that's the best signal propagation when installing one of those.
So what about its gain? Is it it's a little stronger than these, right?
Yep, I believe it's 10.6.
So yeah, if you're living in a really rural area and you want to make sure, like, or not just necessarily a rural area, a weak signal area, you want to make sure you get the highest amount of power from every component of a signal booster. So you're going to want to look at the most powerful booster, and you're going to want to look at these most powerful antennas. Sometimes you have to make it's a little harder to set up, but
a little bit of sacrifice goes a long way.
Yeah, exactly. You want to make sure you get that signal. So this has been the antennas. And I hope that this has been helpful for you guys and helps you choose the right antenna that will work best for you. So see you guys soon.